So folks, now we're working on part 2 of our series of contracts and things that we see that maybe give, what do we like to say? Hiccup?
Hiccup.
I love that, hiccup. So today we're going to talk about, well, you tell them what we're going to talk about.
Okay. So we're really talking about contracts and just kind of common things we see that come up in contracts that cause us issues in financing. So another thing that is fairly common that we see is people will write all the problems in the contract. So as an example, like buyer to acknowledge garage door openers don't work. Okay, seems pretty simple, like not that hard, right? But once we know about problems, because you have lined them out in the buy-sell contract, we know about them and we're gonna want them fixed. So it is usually best to acknowledge those items in your inspection notice or in the owner's property disclosure. Those are not things that we see. And it's best to not put all of that stuff into a buy-sell agreement because so once we know about these problems and you have brought them to our attention, we are likely going to want them fixed prior to closing. So it's not really a great forum for doing all of that. You should have those discussions again in the inspection notice, owner's property disclosure, talk about all that stuff, make sure that buyers and sellers are on the same page, but putting all of it in the additional provisions can cause you issues. Also, things that we see are carpet allowances, or like, you know, the carpet's worn and you know it needs to be replaced and you're going to give them $5,000 as a carpet allowance. That does not work in our world. So the seller can pay for the buyer's closing costs and or prepaid items, but they cannot just give the buyer $5,000. So that is considered an inducement to sale. Doesn't work in our world. So those are things that can come up in a contract that can cause problems from the financing perspective that a lot of times we have to address and have, go back to the drawing board and ask people to do amendments to the contract to change those things. So just something to think about when you are looking over your contracts with your agents that could potentially cause you problems from a financing perspective.
Yep. Look over it, think about that, watch these videos, and hopefully it'll be helpful for you when you really make that offer. You can have just a really clean buy, sell, or purchase agreement.